Scott Thompson, Thomson. I'm the police chief of the Camden County Police Force. Tonight at 5:20 p.m., we arrested Amir Hall over in the Kensington section of the city. And approximately 1 hour later, we arrested De Jesus in the Kensington section of the city as well. Both individuals were taken into custody without incident. There was relatively very little force that was used to effect the arrest. I'm happy to say that both individuals did not resist arrest, and we were able to take them into custody. It should be noted that De Jesus did dye his hair blonde in an effort to try to avoid capture, but that didn't seem to work out too well for him. Right now, both individuals are being held over at Philadelphia Police Headquarters. We want to thank the Philadelphia Police Department, the United States Marshal Service, as well as with many other law enforcement agencies to really help us bring these suspects into custody. We're going to be working with our prosecutor's office now to secure extradition, to bring these folks over to New Jersey so they can face the litany of charges that they face from the night in which they ambushed our two detectives and attempted to kill them. I have spoken with both detectives and advised them of the arrest. Physically, they are doing better, but I'm sure, as you can imagine, they still have a very long road to go. These detectives experienced a pretty traumatic incident. Tonight's arrest does help a bit in that process, but needless to say, we're trying to get them as much help as we can, because their psychological injuries are far worse than what their physical injuries are. Does anyone have any questions?
How do you expect to pay off the reward?
I'm sorry, the train's going by. It's really difficult for me to hear you. So Hall was on a street corner when he was taken into custody, and De Jesus was in a house.
What led you to
it was a litany of really good detective work, and we did receive a tremendous amount of help from the community in this. We received a lot of information, tips, and the like, which corroborated a lot of other information that our investigative leads were giving us.
What's their tie, if you know, to Kensington?
I'm sorry?
What's their tie to that area, if you know?
I don't know. I do know that we do know from our investigation that these individuals had some pretty strong ties to the Philadelphia area. From talking to our brother on the other side of the river, these individuals were pretty well known to the Philadelphia Police Department as well.
Do you expect to pay out the reward money? Did that help?
That'll be a decision that'll ultimately be made by the prosecutor. We have paid reward money out in some of our more previous high-profile cases and the like, but that's something a decision will be made by the prosecutor at the end of all this.
Okay, if I could just ask one more question, how relieved are you to finally have these remaining two suspects in custody?
Well, that's a great question, Melanie. I am extremely relieved for not just for the detectives that were in this, because I'm sure, as you can imagine, it was a tremendous amount of anxiety for them knowing these individuals were still out there. But the fact of the matter is that these individuals have very little regard for human life. And the fact that they're no longer walking the streets of Camden or Philadelphia, I think makes myself and the Philadelphia Police Commissioner and the people on both sides of the river much happier that these people are in our custody and they're not out walking the streets right now.
Chief, can you speak to any kind of ties to gang affiliations and then also a timeline on extradition?
So we're not going to get into the specifics with regards to their gang affiliation, but these individuals have a pretty long history, criminal history, if you will. And like I said, they're pretty well known to us and to Philadelphia Police.
Did those two suspects, and I'm sorry if you said this in the past, did they know that those detectives were officers?
We're not speculating as to what they knew at the time. What is pretty clear to us was their intent to kill the individuals that were in that vehicle. We're going to interview these suspects and we're going to see what they've got to say. But really, regardless of whether they knew they were police officers or not, it's of grave concern to us that they were trying to kill those people, kill our detectives. And with that being said, if there is some bit of solace that came to us in this entire incident. It was that this extreme act of violence occurred upon us and not upon just a couple members of our public. I mean, that's part of our oath of office. We'd rather put ourselves in harm's way than have a member of the public be subjected to something like this.
And you mentioned that you spoke with them. Their responses, if you're comfortable saying, when you said that the final two were brought into custody.
Yeah, no, the detectives asked me to pass along to their brother and sister officers. Thank you for doing this. You know, we reassured them. I reassured them. Their supervisors reassured them. Their coworkers reassured them that we were not going to take our foot off the accelerator in this case until we were able to bring them to justice. And it was not only a promise made, promise kept by the members of the Camden County Police Force, but it was also promises made and kept by the law enforcement community at large, as evidenced by the assistance we got from the United States Marshals, ATF, the FBI, and the Philadelphia Police Department.
Do you know when they're going to be extradited?
You know, that will be a judicial process that's going to take place. I mean, we're going to be working on that first thing tomorrow morning. A lot of that depends upon them. If they waive extradition, they can be brought over immediately. If not, then we just go through the process of filling out the paperwork, and but make no mistake about it, they will be brought to Jersey and they will face justice on this side of the river.
And the charges, I don't know if you said that.
So I can get you the list of the charges, but really the most significant is that they were charged with both charged with all three were charged with first-degree attempted murder, which is the highest level of murder that there is. It means that they knowingly and purposefully attempted to kill our two detectives.
So, Chief, the only unanswered question now is the possible motive for the attack. There's nothing you can say about what prompted this?
You know, we have some working theories, Melanie, but at this point in time, you know, we're going to let the investigation continue forward. We've got still have to speak to them, but so at this point, I really don't want to speculate as to the motive why. Again, we've got some pretty good reasons that we believe, but we're interested to see what they've got to say. I'm sorry, Jim?
Did you recover the weapons?
No, we have not recovered the weapons yet.
Any more questions, guys?
I do want to say on a professional note too, thank you very much for your effort in this. The amount of media coverage that was pushed out, we certainly saw the response from the public at large in providing us information. It was inspiring to see how much the community stepped up in the information they were giving us. So I thank you for your efforts in helping get their photographs and the message out there. So thank you very much, folks. You have a good night.